LFC transfer room. I'm your host Charlie, and today we're going to be previewing Lask, well, the Europa League game against Lask, which is tomorrow. Joined by three lovely gentlemen here. Kings, I'll start with you, mate. How you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a cough, but apart from that, doing great. Race, yourself, mate? Doing good today?
Good until really good, especially when I checked the Manchester United score. They're putting in another pitiful performance in the Champions League.
Yeah, Onana is dropping an absolute masterclass once again. All three goals his fault. Um, we will be talking about the goalkeeper situation, but hopefully it's not that big of a deal. But Mick, mate, how you doing today?
Not too bad yourself, apart from your cough.
Yeah, as I said, it's just a lovely cold day here in the UK.
Yeah,
So
it's been freezing today.
yeah, so it's not fun, but we'll get on with some of the topics. First, we will discuss the biggest story, I guess, heading into this. Not that it really matters, but we'll touch on it a little bit. Obviously, it's going to be a run of games that Kelleher will now be starting. Um, obviously, with Allison being out projected, should be back around Crystal Palace. Definitely Man United, it seems like. Wouldn't be a surprise if Klopp waited until the Man United game. Obviously, Kelleher would have been starting today, but we'll just get everyone's quick thoughts about that. And obviously, Diogo Jota's injury. He's going to be out for a little bit longer. If you watch the stream, you should know that he should never have started anyway. The City game. So that was fun. But Kings, two big injuries for Liverpool. We've kind of avoided them so far this season. Maybe not Andy Robertson, but the rest of the squad, we haven't had too many big injuries. It's going to be a big game for Kelleher. This last game, isn't it? Especially with it couldn't have come at a better time. Allison's injury, I think it's only, I can't remember, but don't have big games. I think Sheffield United, Fulham, and Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
So it's a good time. Jota injury is a bit disappointing as well, isn't it?
The good thing about Allison is, like you say, is the run of games we've got after this. I mean, it could have done with him for this one because this is important to get through, obviously. But I hate saying lesser teams because at the end of the day, it's 11v11 on the day, and you never know what's going to happen. But yes, on paper, it seems it's the best time if he's going to be out now. The difference with Jota, I find, is the last time I was on talking, I would have had him coming on from the bench. That's what I think. He's a better impact player that way. Whether we miss him as much, because we've got quite a good setup up front. So and he's a great player, and I've got no issues with Jota personally. But I just think that we can cope better up front if he's not in the squad. We've got Diaz, we've got Salah, obviously Nunez, and we've got Doak probably coming into this one as well. So we can cope up front. I just think with Allison being out, it is the right time if there's going to be any time, I suppose.
I mean, I was really worried when he first went down because it did look like he was struggling to stand on his foot. Put any weight on it. Thankfully, he's only going to miss, 4 or so games. Back for probably one of the biggest games of the seasons as well. As Kings has just said there, Jota's a bit more of a miss, but maybe a miss off the bench, which could potentially be, the load could be lightened because I think, a lot of us rate Jota off the bench, but not starting, and he's picked up his injury starting. So, yeah, and Klopp's to blame in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely worried when Allison went down. I was just worried Man City were going to take a shot and have him, try to make a save there. That's kind of worried me, but thankfully was able to man up there and it's obviously unfortunate, the injury happening, and I guess it is luckily only a few weeks of an injury. When you see him pull a hamstring, you think, it could be a little more serious. And with those hamstring injuries too, even though he is a goalkeeper, it's a very tender, area. And, if something happens, a setback or anything, it can be longer. So I would still be cautious with, a few weeks and, with bringing him back too, because we're going to need him, for the long run. We're only in December here. We still got more months to go in the season. So, it's time for Keller to step up. He's looked, he hasn't looked the best this season. I think hasn't, in what we've expected from our backup goalkeeper. So this is going to be a big call for him, and hopefully he can step up and be a little better out there. And I think we're all still confident he can put in the shift and be a steady number 2 and steady understudy to Allison. But we certainly hope that he'll be back soon. And then with Jota too, I think we're all pretty comfortable with the other guys that can step up in place with Jota. Like we always say, he's better off the bench and whatnot. But of course, your depth is going to be tested with these run of games that we're going to have, coming up close, with no international break for a while now or anything like that. So it's going to be it's going to be Diaz out there on the left side, for the time being, which is of course is his spot. But it's definitely going to be the sooner he gets back, the better for all these guys.
Yeah, definitely. And Mick, Paul said here with Allison out, is there a case to pull Kelleher from tomorrow and start another keeper just to protect him from Premier League games? I'll give my opinion quickly, and I think this is a really good opportunity for Kelleher, because my personal opinion, I think we should be getting rid of him next season. I think he's probably going to be at his highest ever value. I trust Pitalagua. I don't know how to fucking say his name, first of all. Pitalagua. From what we've seen in training and under 21, under 18s, I think he's going to, he could be our next Allison. I think Kelleher is probably at the stage of his career where he needs to be moving on. And this is going to put him in the shop window for us, maybe get 20 million or so for him. But look, we've seen in the past, he's stepped up. Alisson always pretty much gets one injury a year, doesn't he? He's always out for a few weeks. And he's usually stepped up. Obviously, races mentioned there, he hasn't been as good. But you look at the fixtures, he shouldn't really be having an issue, should he?
No, I actually rate Kelleher. I think he's a decent keeper. I think every time he's maybe not this season, but in the last couple of seasons, every time he's come in, I think he's done a good job. He's good with his feet. He's nowhere near as good as Alisson, but I think he's a good backup keeper, and I think he'll do the job. I don't think he'll make many mistakes. I don't mind Kelleher. I've always rated him, thought he's a good young keeper. I'd like to keep him around, really, but I think Kelleher could play for a top table side in the Premier League. Maybe around a mid-table 10th place team with no issues. Yeah, but I don't mind Kelleher. I hope Alisson's back sooner rather than later. But yeah, Kelleher for me is a decent keeper. I think he'll do a good job.
Well, hopefully, and it'll be his first audition tomorrow against Lask. But again, guys, if you're new, make sure you do leave a like on the stream. Also, subscribe, helps the channel grow. Stream every single night at 7:30, and we will be doing a post-match with Damon straight after the game tomorrow. Okay, looking to tomorrow's game, we'll just start off. We'll look at predicted XI. Obviously, missing two of the big names we've mentioned, Alisson and Diogo Jota, so neither of them will be starting. Cody Gakpo did the interview, so I think he's probably nailed on. But we'll skip Kelleher, and probably because he's guaranteed to start. If not, it'll be Jaros. We'll look at the defence, probably where we could be expecting the most rotation. Kings start at right back. Would you just go with Trent, or Gomez is fit? He was on the bench last game. Would you bring Gomez in potentially?
No, I'd put Trent in, to be honest. It's like I say, the thing is with this game, if the Reds win, and the results go their way, they can go, obviously qualify straight for the round of 16, I think it is, isn't it? So it's if they'd have won against Toulouse in the last game, this would have been more chance to rotate players, probably a lot more. I think he'll only do it a little bit here and there because he knows he needs the results, obviously, to make sure they qualify. So I would start Trent there, to be honest. Gomez, I do rate Gomez, to be fair, but overall, I'd go with Trent over him.
Yeah, I mean, race, we could potentially see Gomez at left back, or Luke Chambers is within a shout as well. Or would you go Simicast? And do you agree with Kings there as well? With start Trent and just get over the line and make sure we are qualified.
I agree. Yeah, I think especially after the last game where we lost, I think We don't want to mess around with getting qualified and getting through the next round. This is game at Anfield, so just get the job done. Ask your star players to just say, hey, man, just go out there and get us to the next round. You can forget about the last group game that we've had. This is kind of about being a professional, getting a result. So yeah, I would definitely have a little bit of a stronger side than what we're used to in the Europa League. So I guess I it's hard to see someone else coming in at left back, I guess, for Chambers or Simicast. I would just lean towards Simicast, but either one would be a fine option for me.
Yeah, I mean, Mick Simicast did well against Manchester City. I think he exceeded a lot of people's expectations. I thought he absolutely locked Foden down and, pretty much nullified their entire right-hand side. But I still, you look at the table, we pretty much only need one more point to qualify. Because we play Union Saint-Gilles, they would have to win their game against Toulouse and then win against us by a good 12 goals. So unless an absolute catastrophic meltdown happens and Union Saint-Gilles turn into the best team in the world, we pretty much qualified already. I think we can afford to go a little bit, and I wouldn't say no to maybe Gomez right back and then, Luke Chambers left back. I don't think he did too much wrong the last time we started.
Yeah, I'd probably, because with the injury to Robinson, I wouldn't start Simicast, because if he gets injured, then they're pretty much done at left back for the Premier League. I don't think Chambers is ready for Premier League, so I'd probably give him a go and run out myself. I'd probably give Kwanzaa a go as well at centre back, starting maybe alongside Canate or probably Matip with a bit more. Not as rash as Canate, so probably put Matip in, and then I'd probably go Gomez at right back myself. I think Liverpool's second string should be comfortably beating Lask. I don't see why we would need a full, say if you put 9 first teamers out to beat Lask at Anfield, the second team should be wrapping that up in by half time. No disrespect, but the Liverpool second string is far better than Lask's first team. So that's my opinion. I'd just give it a go. It's I think you only need, I'm beyond with you. You need a point to qualify. I'd give the lot of them a run out. I'd put Doak in. I'd put a lot of them in.
Yeah,
I'd be starting maybe 1 or 2 first teamers, maybe give Nunes just to run riot a bit and miss a couple of chances. But
yeah, our King Darwin Nunes, who has a billion chances. But you mentioned centre back there. I think Kwanzaa's nailed on. I think he's been unbelievable in the Europa League, and I think this is his competition. I think no matter how far or what opponent we get, I think you need to stick with Kwanzaa. You need to show faith. He's been, probably our best defender. And then I would go Canate as well. Kings, what would be your centre back pairing?
To be honest, I agree with Mick. Yes, I would start the same as what we're suggesting is. Yeah, I started by saying, okay, we need a maybe a stronger side out, but now listening to Mick, I agree. To be fair, he's got a point, and we should be better than them. I mean, it'll be the first time they've ever played at Anfield, so I'm hoping even that, I hope they don't raise their game like a cup final. I think they come there and hopefully they'll be a bit overawed as well, if the crowd, just get up for it as well. So yeah, maybe change more players than I was anticipating at first. And I think they should still be able to do the job, to be honest. So the defense, I think, go with more of a second string.
Yeah, definitely agree with that, Race.
I definitely would have Kanate in there, and then I guess either Kwanzaa or Gomez would be a pick for me. But yeah, I think you made a good point on Kwanzaa being his competition. He's performed well in the Europa League, and I think deserves another start here. I guess Kanate and Kwanzaa would be a good pairing.
Yeah, definitely. Mick, move on to midfield 3. What's your midfield 3?
that was a tough one, that one.
Obviously, you've got Wataru Endo, hasn't really started. Curtis Jones, a disappointing game. Harvey Elliott's been really good in the Europa League too.
See, I'd play Harvey on the right. I'd play Harvey where Salah would play on the right, and I'd play probably Gravenberch, Endo for that bit more. If you got the young players at the back, so Endo can drop deep. He used to playing around the back, isn't he? So Endo, Gravenberch, probably. I'd probably still give Jones a go just for the fact he's just come back from injury. So give him in, maybe if you give him 60 minutes, 70 minutes, and then bring someone else on. Yeah, I'd probably go with Gravenberch, Endo, and Jones.
So Gravenberch, Endo, Jones. I think Endo's probably nailed on, isn't he? I think this is his competition, as we said, with Kwanzaa. But and Gravenberch as well has performed really well. But looking ahead to the Premier League games, I think what we saw of Gravenberch against City almost compared to what Curtis Jones offered, I think that nails him on as a starter in the Premier League. So would you risk Gravenberch? Personally, I think I'd go Endo, Harvey, Jones, and kind of say, okay, look, this is our midfield free until we face an absolute, one of the Champions League teams who's dropped down.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, because I think Klopp has used like 25 players so far in this competition who's rotated round, and Endo and Harvey Elliott, I think, have started the 4 games, haven't they? So I think they're almost going to be like they're in. So it's only really one extra to pick. And like you say, Gravenberch, when he played against City, I was impressed with him, to be fair. I think he's starting to find his feet a lot better now, and he's got a lot of promise. Probably better in the Premier League, I think, than in this game. So yes, I actually would go with Curtis Jones as well. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, race, we're kind of, it's not a million options, is there? Because you could drop Gakpo into there, which he has done. I think with the amount of football the likes of Szoboszlai and McAllister have played, they really need rest, especially after a tough game against City. And as we've mentioned, we should be winning this. I don't think this is going to be like Toulouse, where, we could see they were a good side, and their atmosphere was unbelievable at the ground, and a mixture of things happened. It's at Anfield, it's a night game, European game. Should be comfortable, and we shouldn't have to play our best midfielders for that, should we?
No, yeah, we should be taking care of business here. Lask, bottom of the group right now, so it's definitely a job that should be done regardless of if it's a stronger side or a weaker side. My midfield would be Endo, Elliott, and then I would have Gravenberch in there. Just to, not really no rhyme or reason. I guess it's either him or Jones for me, and I guess I just want to see Gravenberch selfishly. I think he's performed well in the Europa League. I think he could easily, play, 60 some minutes in this game and then still start on Sunday. I mean, he's still a young player. He's still, fresh, and I think he could easily do a Thursday to Sunday type, shift. So that would be my midfield. I'd just like to see Gravenberch more, because again, I think he's really a really special player, and if he didn't hit the ground running already, he certainly is, just a really quality player for us.
I think Klopp could probably give, even swap them at half time, Jones and Gravenberch. Either start Gravenberch and then bring Jones on half time. I think that'd be pretty sensible. Both of them have just come back from injury, so giving them as many minutes as possible. Now on to the attack. I think only 5 players have travelled, or maybe 6. Gakpo done a press conference, who's probably going to start. Luis Diaz, Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, Ben Doak, and Cade Gordon. So there are 6 options. Mick, I know you've mentioned potentially Harvey Elliott on the right. Doak has started a decent amount of games for the Europa League on the right-hand side. Would you continue that, or stick Harvey there? Like you
I think I don't see Harvey Elliott. I know people put him in midfield, but for me, he's a winger. He always has been. I think he plays better when he's out wider than he does centrally. I think he offers a lot more out wide than he does centrally. My front three would be Harvey, probably Núñez and Gakpo. Gakpo off the left, I'd probably go for, and then let Gakpo have the full 90 minutes and then start Diaz in the Premier League on the left.
Agree with him, Kings, or would you go a bit different? I think my front three, I'd probably go Doak on the right, Gakpo up top, and Diaz on the left. That's mine personally.
Doak on the right. I'm tempted to say put Darwin Núñez in, actually. I talked about him last time, and I said, he is a bit up and down. He's still kind of slowly getting there, but he does have his misses, and sometimes they're glaring misses. But I just think maybe getting him in the action and maybe amongst the goals, possibly a game, will just boost his confidence. On the left-hand side, Gakpo probably is going to come in, like you said, with Diaz maybe kept back. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a much changed side. And then he'll probably stack the bench, I would say, wouldn't he? Just in case he needs to bring on some names later on. But yeah, I'd put Núñez up front actually and just see how he goes, even if it's only till half time or just for the second half, maybe to just boost his confidence with hopefully a couple of goals and then see how he goes from there.
Race, I mean, two young right wingers have travelled, Doak and Kate Gordon. I think they're both 17, obviously Scottish and Irish. Could be a potential chance for them to state the name. I think Doak's been given a few chances. He just hasn't taken his chances, which has been a bit disappointing. But, who knows? But what's your front three?
Yeah, definitely have Doak and Gakpo in there. I think Doak on the right side. And then I'm still wondering too, if Gakpo's on the left or Núñez through the middle, or even Núñez on the left, Gakpo through the middle, or Diaz. I guess I'm kind of with you, Charlie. I think Diaz on the left and then Gakpo through the middle. I just think that I don't even know what to think, honestly. That's just kind of what I have. I mean, the Jones injury, really throws a wrench in this right now, because now we're having to possibly play a player that we really don't want to in this game. But again, these are professional footballers. They get up for games. They're excited to start whenever they can. So I think to be cautious and not start a player because of risk of injury is kind of scared management. I think like you can't always be scared. You have to sometimes start a player that maybe you don't want him to start and you want him to start at the weekend. You have to throw him in there. So I'd have Diaz left, Gakpo through the middle, and then Doak on the right.
Yeah, I think the team could go many ways, to be fair. But before we move on to score predictions, make sure you do leave a like on the stream if you want. You guys also subscribe. Get your questions into, even if it's about anything. We will chat a little bit about Mbappe, just because I know it's on everyone's lips at the moment. So get your questions in for the lads, and we'll go through them. Obviously, it's Lask. It's a short match preview because, let's be honest, we should be absolutely rattling them 5-6-0 at home. But that will take us on lovely to the match prediction, scores, goal scorers. Mick, what are you going with? Yeah,
3-0 to Liverpool, not Lask. I'd be upset if it was 3-0 to Lask. I'm going to go Ravenberg. 2 for Gakpo.
I wouldn't say no to that. Dutch connection. Kings, predictions and goal scorers.
Well, I'm going to go one more than that. I'm going to say 4-0. I will say Darwin Núñez for 1. Gakpo with 1. I'm not sure on the others, to be honest. It's like somebody in midfield, I think, might surprise us.
Maybe Harvey Elliott off his double for England.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if Doak plays, and he's quite goal hungry, to be fair. So I'll put him down for 1. Gakpo, Núñez, and Elliott possibly. So that's 4 different scorers. That's really rolling it out, going well. There could be a goal fest for a bit of everybody there. But I'll go with them 4-0.
Yeah, and race bit of your metaphor from Paulia. I think that means we'll win by 6-0. But what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna say 3-1. I think there might be a late goal to be conceded there by us, but 3-1 to us. I'm gonna say Gakpo will get a brace, and then I'll say Diaz gets the other one.
And your last goal scorer?
I don't know. I don't know who the hell's on their team. It'll be I don't know, a penalty. I'll say a penalty goal by someone.
An own goal by Keller.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go 5-0. Darwin Núñez hat-trick off the bench, Doak goal, and Diaz goal as well. We will clip this up when it happens, and it will be going everywhere. Okay.
Misses,
Nah, he's gonna get that as well, but a hat trick goals.
It's going to make 9 to score 3.
Yeah. I mean, and that's him coming off the bench in 60 minutes, so a hat trick in 30 minutes. I think that's pretty reasonable for Darwin Núñez against a tired Lask. But we will laugh at Manchester United a little bit. Obviously drawing 3-3 against Galatasaray. They are now rock bottom of their group, Group A, which includes Copenhagen, Galatasaray, and Bayern Munich. Heliora's mentioned here. Good to know that Man United have to beat Bayern Munich in midweek before they come to Anfield. So they're going to be putting a lot of lives on that pitch, which is great for us because they're going to have to start the strongest team. So we could be seeing another 7-0. But Kings, let's all laugh at Man United. Very funny, isn't it?
It's funny enough. Mick was saying earlier about Kelleher in goal, and he could end up at a team in the Premier League and do okay. Honestly, they could have, not that he'd ever go there, and I don't want him to go to Man United, but he could go there and he would show Onana how to be a goalkeeper because he's terrible. Why on earth? He's terrible. Every time I see him,
did you see his goals?
I'm glad. Did
you see them?
I'm glad he makes mistakes.
Right,
it's great. But he's not good for them. I mean, they let De Gea go, and they brought him in, and I think, well, I don't know what this manager's up to, but there's not. I'm glad they're losing, and when they come to Anfield, 7-0 was obviously a dream last year, and Jamie Carragher, I remember obviously laughing with or at Gary Neville, doing the commentary, and when he got to 7. It's like, I want it to be 8 this time because they've been so poor, and I think, yeah, let's go for it even more and make that score even bigger. I'd love it.
Yeah, Race. I mean, I think if Copenhagen win against them tonight, they then need to be beat Bayern Munich by a decent amount of goals. So it's they honestly might not even drop into the Champions League, into the Europa League, which would be an even more bigger bonus for us. Not that we struggle against them in the Europa League. Little Coutinho chip, if anyone remembers that. Absolutely beautiful goal. But it's very funny, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Ten Hag is still around for when we play them. I mean, I don't know what his status is or what they're thinking of letting him go or whatnot. It's just, I mean, you talk about just the rise of us with Klopp and then the fall of United really since Sir Alex Ferguson left. It's I remember a time when I think Klopp, his first few years with Liverpool, I don't think he beat United. I think he kept drawing with them or didn't lose. I feel like it took a couple years for him to get his first win against United. And now since he's gotten that first win, we've had 5-0, 7-0, just these massive results, 5-1, beat him. Like, it's just incredible. I mean, it's absolutely everything you want to see from your heated rival. They are just in. I don't even know how to explain. They're just so bad. Everything they do, every move they make, just seems to be terrible. I mean, Onana was like pretty good with Milan last year, and now he's just crap. I just don't. It's so funny, and it's just so awesome to see. You can bank on it every week that Onana is just going to put in an absolute howler or something and just completely mess up the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you know a lot of United fans. I mean, they're all buzzing at the moment because they've won like 5.
They're actually not doing too bad in the Premier League.
Yeah, but you look at who they're playing, and these 3 of them games, I think, against Brentford, them and the ones either side of that, they should have lost. There is no way. I watched all of them games. They should not have won them games. Them results have papered over the cracks. Could we potentially get another one sacked? And when they come to Anfield, who've we got sacked so far? Mourinho and Solskjaer. Another one on the cards.
Yeah, I think they'll stick with him, mate. I don't know what he's trying to do. Like, they just make the same mistakes, like you say. Like the Brentford game, they should have lost. And it's just, I think they're just like, yeah, they're doing all right. They've got to pick the results up against the Brentfords and the mid-table teams. But as soon as they play anyone from like the top 5, they're going to get absolutely slaughtered the way they play. And Onana, he's comedy gold watching him. He's fantastic. He lights my day up when I see him play. He just makes so many mistakes. It's unreal. Like, but didn't Ten or was he not the Ajax goalkeeper when Ten
Yeah, he
Hag was
was.
manager of
Yeah,
Ajax?
yeah, he was.
So that's probably why he brought him in. But I thought he was Pap then. He's just rash. He makes so many mistakes, and like he doesn't seem to save a ball that's hit at him. Like he makes the hard saves, but then just fumbles like snail pace shots to him. Yeah, he's terrible, but yeah, it is comedy. I love winding people up at work, especially in the Champions League. They are absolutely brilliant to watch, aren't they? At least they're always high scoring games.
I know.
So good game to watch.
we mentioned some of the games, but I mean, look, they won 2-1 against Brentford. They should have lost that. They won 2-1 at Sheffield United. They should have not won that either.
Yeah, draw.
They then barely beat Copenhagen, got absolutely smashed by Man City and Newcastle, barely beat Fulham again, got beat by Copenhagen, again, barely beat Luton Town, and then convincingly...
we didn't beat them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I would, but I'll still say they barely beat them, you know, and then Man United, and then they destroyed Everton. I mean, I don't understand how United fans can be happy with that personally. But
I had a mate at work today who said that Man United are in the title race.
The only teams who are in the title race are us and City. I don't even class Arsenal, even though they're top.
I just told him to go make me a brew and shut up. That was his response.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Kylian Mbappe. Rumours have started again. This time it's with us and Arsenal. And apparently both sides are looking at their financial structures to see if they can sign him. And there's also another report out by an extremely reliable French journalist that says that we have a chance only if Real Madrid pull out the race due to, you know, the relationship with Klopp and Mbappe or something like that. I don't know. It's worded really weirdly because it's translated from French, but basically says Klopp and Mbappe have a good relationship, which, you know, we kind of already knew. And you know, I feel like we don't know about you Kings, but I feel like we have got the Mbappe deal sorted. Like, I think we can make enough room for it if Mbappe wanted to join. Like, I think the club have said, look, he is the one player we will sign. We know what to do. Obviously, it all requires the main thing is his signature, which we haven't been close to getting. But this could be a free transfer as well. I mean, unless we sign him in January for cheaper. It always comes around, doesn't it? Kylian Mbappe and Liverpool. I think it's inevitable.
I don't know if it's wishful thinking, to be honest, Charlie. Do you genuinely feel that FSG are going to pay the wages he wants? Now, you know, I say what you like about FSG. You know, they've done some good bits, some bad bits, whatever. And people have their opinions. I'm not going into that and opening another kind of worms, but I can't see them paying out, because on a free transfer, of course, his wages then and his bonuses will just absolutely shatter the wage structure at Liverpool. And then everybody else will be like, well, we want some extra money. And it just blows it all out of proportion. Then I just don't think it'll ever happen unless, you know, he literally publicly begs us. And even then, I'm not sure it would happen. But I'm not saying I don't want him. That's a completely separate thing. But I don't think it'll ever happen, to be honest.
What's his wage at PSG?
I think he's on 800 grand a week. It is.
Unless he's taking a
sorry,
75% pay cut, then yeah.
So I was going to say, is that all it is? If I'd have realised it was that, you know, fair enough, then we would just get him in. Why don't we?
I mean, Race, look, on paper, we don't pay high wages, but with the bonuses that we offer, like a lot of our players are on very high wages. Obviously, it's all, you know, performance based, and if they play, and you know, that's the risk players take, you know, signing the lower. But it balances itself out. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think it's out of the question that we can offer Kylian Mbappe a fat sign-on bonus with the money that we would save, not giving PSG here. You know, we could give him a crazy amount of money. Say, look, have that. You're gonna have to reduce your wage a little bit, but have this really big sign-on bonus, and also have these bonuses if you go and score every goal you get. So I think Firmino's was like 50 grand every goal he scored, wasn't it? All of our forwards have this goal bonus. I don't see why it's not possible. Yes, everyone will point to the FSG being stingy. However, they give Mohamed Salah what he wanted, and we haven't spent a lot for what we're worth. I don't think it's out of deal, and with maybe a little bit of a helping hand from Nike. We're their face club, he's their face player. It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, a lot would have to kind of transpire for a move like this to happen. I think one, coming on a free and not paying a transfer fee would be kind of an avenue there, because you don't want to pay extra money on top of the massive wage and bonuses that you would offer him. You would basically want to have Mbappe asking to come to Liverpool, and it's always going to be in question Mbappe's future with PSG, as long as they're kind of just stuck in neutral out there, not really challenging for the Champions League or whatever, even though they're always seem to be challenging, but they're not really. And like you said, the relationship that Klopp and Mbappe has, there is one there. It's positive. They certainly admire each other. You would have to, just cut our own wage bill. I feel, sell off some players, recoup some of that money. Like you said, the Nike aspect of it. There's a lot of moving parts for this to happen. It's all wishful thinking. I mean, just on the field, talking about that, I mean, he's a dream fit for us for Klopp. He's a perfect Klopp player, but I mean, that's just, I refuse to believe it that we're really in the running until some sort of big news drop, or Mbappe says himself that, like, I am moving on. It seems like the potential destination for Mbappe are either Real Madrid or us, and Real Madrid certainly seems the more likely destination, just because they offer a boatload of money. They can afford it. That's what they do. Those high wages and stuff. So it's all wishful thinking. I love your optimism, Charlie, but I just don't see a world. I'll keep hoping. I'll keep praying that we can bring him in a change of I think there would have to be some sort of sacrifice on Mbappe's part to come to us, and that's where I said he would want to join us, because look, we just can't offer that much money to a player. That would just totally, we have a very set way of how we do things, and it's been successful. To break all that, to bring in a star player, I think would just be kind of irresponsible. Because certainly we don't see this run that we're on, ending. We just kind of rejuvenate our team. So it's very wishful thinking for me.
Mick, I can see I'm going to have to do a lot to convince you. So while Reese has been talking, I've come up with a transfer strategy for FSG. So let's look at the full picture. We've got Nike. As I've mentioned, it's a great deal for them. Let's ask them for a little bit of money. Say, look, Nike, here we go. We get this. We can go and do deals with all these people. Get more money for everybody. It's a great deal for Nike. Nike are in.
LeBron James
owns FSG. He's again another face athlete for Nike. He is in. He's on the phone to Mbappe. FSG have flown when he was in Monaco to go and see him. He's in too. Everyone's in. Everyone's happy. They know we're interested in him from a young age. His mum is like, yeah, Team Club, because obviously she's a Liverpool fan, which he's admitted. Now, the main piece, Ibrahima Konate. Kylian Mbappe is one of his close friends. He's on the phone to him saying, oh, yeah, mate, this is sick. Come on the big yellow boat. I know it's not riding anymore, but, come to Liverpool, great city. We'll get the river. We'll go on the ferry across the river. Perfect. He's in love with the city. Now, financial side. This is where I'll get you, Mick. We all accepted we needed a winger last summer. Didn't happen. That's money set to the side there. So that's 40, 50 million, not including wages. We got that to the side. Now, Kylian Mbappe is a nice guy, loves Liverpool. He knows he's going to have to take a bit of a wage cut. He's accepting that. He's moving from Qatar to Liverpool. He's happy with a bit of a wage cut. Still one of the best players in the world, so we'll pay him fairly. Okay, we need another right winger. We definitely need a right wing this next summer. So there's another 40 million. So we've got 80 million in the kitty at the moment. Money's piling up. Joel Matip, see you later. He can go. His wages there because we're bringing Gerald Kwanzaa in. Queven Kelleher, see you later. 20 million for him. Bring Pitolagua in. There's his money and wages. Who else can I sell? Diogo Jota, see you later. 60 million for him. Thanks for the wages because we don't need Diogo Jota. I'm sorry. Thiago, he's one of our highest earners. See you later. Thanks. We've got about 500-600 million now piled up. I mean, come on. I should pitch this to FSG, really.
You sure, right? I'm going to counter that.
It is. My main point is, it is possible. I don't. There's so many people who are saying it is impossible. And look, I'm not a businessman, and obviously it's a lot harder than that. There's as Ray said, there is a million moving parts. However, there's a million moving parts in a lot of transfers. It's genuinely feasible that we could sign Mbappe because I think the fact that we have the likes of Kwanzaa coming through and Bajcetic to a certain extent, there is players we can move on who we don't even have to bring players in for. Matip, Thiago to a certain extent as well. And we need a forward moving, that's the position we need. I don't think it's out of the realm, personally.
For me, it just stinks of Bellingham.
Oh, we've got the Bellingham money. I forgot about that too. Add that to
the Bellingham. Dad is a Liverpool supporter. Wanted him to go to Liverpool.
His dad's a money-grabbing bastard too.
Love Liverpool. Money was there for Bellingham, apparently. Big All said, love Liverpool, wanted to come. It was near enough a done deal. Everything was out. We were signing him. Real Madrid player. Mbappe, Real Madrid player.
He will not move to Real Madrid.
Liverpool will not move to Real Madrid. The way I see Mbappe coming to Liverpool is if, like you said, you get rid of your Jota, get him off the books because I've got my opinions on Jota. He's an impact sub at best.
We can replace Diogo Jota for 20 million.
I think you can replace him with youth. You get rid of Kelleher, there's 320 million. Matip's gone, like we said, he's out the door. Thiago's wages are gone. I think the only way you bring Mbappe in is if Salah leaves. I think that's the only feasible way that Liverpool could afford Mbappe's wages is if they got rid of some of the not dead weight, but the people who are coming to the end of the like Thiago's a dead weight now. Matip's come to the end, even though I think Matip's played brilliant this season when he has played. But I think that you take Salah's wages off. I think that's the only fee. I don't think you'll see Salah. If Liverpool to sign Mbappe, you wouldn't see them in the same team. I think that's the only way Liverpool could even contemplate affording Mbappe.
The thing is, Charlie, right, you've got to look at, right, I don't think it's possible. Now, nothing is impossible, like you said, but as you can see, I have grey hair, right? So I'm not young. There is more chance that
you can't see it.
I'll say it bluntly. There is more chance of you seeing me playing up front for Liverpool than it is Mbappe.
I have been saying this for years, and look, it's always been hashtag Mbappe 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22. I think, look, you can never say never with Mbappe because of PSG, and I know a lot of people will say it's always money, but I do genuinely think he wants to be the face of French football, and I think he's kind of between a rock and a hard place at the moment because he wants to win the Champions League, but he kind of knows he can't do that with PSG now. I think they're very much just look, they're struggling. Speaking of their group, Jordi, away, they're struggling to even get out of that group, which I think everyone had them nailed on as coming first, and they're struggling at the moment. I mean, a very dodgy handball yesterday saved them of getting embarrassed. So I think I think he's going to move, and I don't think he's going to move to Real Madrid purely because how can they afford him? I don't see how they can afford him and we can't. You know,
What's
they
the
are,
news about their wage? Isn't the wage cap close to what the La Liga
yeah, and
restrictions are?
and
They'd
they're
have to sell a midfielder.
bringing in Endrick, who they want to be their next star man next summer. So are they going to bring in Mbappe as well to overshadow this kid who they're calling the next R9? Like, they also want to bring in Haaland as well. And they've got Vinicius Jr. there and Rodrigo. You know, Mbappe into that creates so many issues. Now, if you bring Mbappe into Liverpool, it creates no issues because everyone's happy. You know, Mbappe is happy. If Salah still stays, you know, Mbappe can go on the left wing. Maybe Luis Diaz isn't happy, but, you know, that's fine.
I think he'll move Barca. Diaz.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you move so much around, it can happen. You know, we've mentioned alone there, you know, two players who are two of our top earners. I think Matip's on 150 grand a week. He's one of the higher, you know, midfield earners, and Thiago again, I think, is our third highest earner after Van Dijk. So there instantly is 350, 400k, you know, freed up. Why can't with the fact we're not even gonna have to sign Mbappe, you know, why not add a little bit extra onto that and move on? I mean, Mbappe, Nunes, Salah from free. I mean, that gets 100 goals a year in my eyes. Well,
yeah, I think Salah and Mbappe would be on the same team. I agree with Mick. Like, it's, you have to give up, you know, kind of the quote unquote face of your team, and because Mbappe would certainly be that guy. And say what you want about Salah, but I think it just couldn't happen wage wise and just team wise.
I why not? Because imagine you're Mohamed Salah, one last dance. You go for everything with Mbappe, don't you? You know, the midfield we've built will have a full year together. You'll have Gravenberch, or potentially, hopefully, a world-class six, and then McAllister, Szoboszlai. You've got your defence, you know, a fully fit Canate, a fully fit Virgil van Dijk, a fully fit Trent, a fully fit Robertson, a fully fit Alisson. Why? And you go for the quadruple. Look, Salah last year at Liverpool, I think he says, look, I'll still be the second main man, but, you know, let's have Mbappe, you know, leading a line with me, and we'll go and win everything. I think Salah takes a step back, personally, me. If that's a possibility.
When you said at the beginning you've got a cough, you said you had a cough at the beginning. I've seen you having a drink. What's in that drink, Charlie?
That is Lucozade. I have not had a drop of alcohol my entire life, King.
I think you're having a sugar rush then, because it's going to your head.
I will read the instructions. There's no sugar in Lucozade anymore, and it made the drink taste horrible, but I still drink it. It's, I don't know. We could talk about this forever, and we probably will, because there will be no doubt more rumors, even if we're just being used as PR, which is definitely a possibility. Saying all that, I do think the most likely situation is he stays at PSG and they just offer him so much more money. I think we're more likely than Real Madrid at this point in time. I don't think Real Madrid want him anymore. And with the finances and stuff, I just think, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, but it won't. It probably won't happen. I've
just tried to convince me for 20 minutes.
No, I was trying to convince you why it could happen. You know,
do you not think it will then? If you had to put your percentage on it, what were you?
15%.
Oh, geez, I thought you were more than that. I was expecting at least 50.
No,
you were saying it was a done deal. Practically the way
I'd go maybe a bit more because he's free. I think FSG will look at that as a proper bargain, because they did want him, but how much did he join PSG for? It was 90 million or something, wasn't it? It was 180 million, 200 million. You know, and the fact that we even tried to go to Monaco and be like, look, we want to put our ring in the hat. I think they will look at the fact that he's free as like, we are never going to get this opportunity again with any player. You know,
we didn't sign Bellingham and he had far less wages.
Yeah, but Bellingham is on 400 grand a week. He would still have been our highest earning player.
Mbappe's going to be on at least. He'd be on at least 600.
600 grand, at a minimum 600 grand. He will be on.
Plus add-ons and bonuses.
But why, with the money we would have spent transfer wise,
It's not the Liverpool way. Like it's quite a kick in the teeth though to bring a player in. For me, if I like if you think you're one of the stars of Liverpool, how long did it take Salah to get on a very high? What he is now, it took him years of performers scoring 30 plus goals a season to even get that level of wage.
Yeah, but that's
to bring a player in and go, right, we're going to pay him another 200 grand a week more than you when he's not.
Did that with Thiago.
He can score goals in a French league. Like you can find someone who plays on the five-a-side pitch down the local park to score goals.
You can't say that. He scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final and he's won a World Cup. He always performs in the Champions League. Like, he's a top 5 player in the world easily, and he has been for years. I
don't think he holds a torch to Haaland.
I think he does.
I don't think he does.
And Thiago, look, you say that. You say you have to earn your respect at Liverpool. Thiago come in as the second highest earner in our team. Straight
but he's not
away.
going to come in over your star man. Salah's the star man of Liverpool. And if he's still there, you're going to bring... He's unproven in...
He is not unproven.
He is. He's done
he
well
is
in
not
the French.
unproven.
He is for me. I don't think Mbappe would come into the Premier League and score 30 goals.
I think he does.
I don't think he does. I think
people said the same about Erling Haaland, and look what.
No, I said Erling Haaland would just score many goals as he has because he's a freak of nature. He's unreal. I'd say he get 20.
Okay,
20 goals.
All right, we'll end it because this could go on forever. I'll go around everyone percentage wise. Kings, think you put up a big fat 0 before. You think there's any opportunity?
Do you know what I think? Right? Do you think there's any chance of Haaland coming to Liverpool in January? Is there any percentage of a chance? Because I think that's more chance of that happening than Mbappe coming to Liverpool. So that's what I think.
I think it would still take 100 million to even get him done in January, which is ridiculous. So I don't think January is even a possibility either. But
I just think it's a stretch too far for FSG. They're not that way inclined.
I mean, everyone will have to backtrack on the FSG comments, especially Mr. Damon if we do bring in Mbappe. But race percentage.
Just because you laid out a map that it feasibly could happen, I'll say 2%.
I will take that. That it was 0. My mission is done.
You at least convinced me of a feasible plan, but 2%.
LeBron James is the key man in my plan, so get him.
That's right. I forgot about
1%
him.
for me. I'll go 1%. So we're all in the middle. 0, 1, and 2.
I'll go a bit more optimistic. 15. El Hero, I don't know. You might have just put 25 in for randomly, but I'm going to say he's saying 25%. I want him over. Let's go.
I think he's about the goals, maybe. I said he won't get 30 goals.
Nah, definitely 25%. Anyway,
take it all wins.
Yeah, I will take it. Okay, J-Muse, I have starred this for when it does happen. I will take a screenshot of you, and I want a video proof of you eating a sandal. But Kings, Race, Mick, thank you very much for joining today. I've been Charlie as well, guys. If you're new, please do subscribe. We stream every single day, 7:30 UK time. We'll be live right after the game with Damon. So hopefully we lose, or you might have a big blow. Hopefully we win, not lose. If you want a lot of drama, then you will hope we lose, because I'm sure Damon won't be too happy. But again, guys, I've been Charlie. This has been the LFC Transfer Room, and as always,